Coming up, a little something to go with my coffee and an inspiration from the French. So today we're making blueberry crepes. Crepes are really thin pancakes. They're really French pancakes, and they're really thin. So it's not the typical pancake that you would find in America. Ours are much thicker. Kind of good, but I like this recipe because it's so simple. So I'm going to start with a little bit of, or 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to sift it with a pinch of salt. And most of these ingredients you'll find right in your pantry. So just sift it. And you sift the flour because you want to catch all the little, just like that, the flour pebbles that may come. So I just push them through like that. Okay. All right. Now, right in the center, what you're going to do is make a well right in the middle. And that is for our eggs. A couple of eggs. Okay. Wait till you see the blueberry filling. You're going to love it. It's blueberry and mascarpone filling. Mascarpone cheese.
You're really good at dropping eggs in. You know that?
Thank you. So we have our 2 eggs in, a little bit of melted butter. Okay, now I'm going to pour in the milk, and while I do that, I'm going to give it a whisk. Okay, so here we go. Okay, make sure you catch all that flour. I'm going to stop and see if I can catch the sides here. Okay, let's do the rest of our milk. Okay, get all the lumps out because you don't want any in here in your crepe batter. Crepe batter is typically thin. Okay, it's not as thick as your traditional pancake batter. So if that scares you, don't be alarmed. It's supposed to be that way. Okay. Now what I'm also going to do is add a little bit of vanilla. Okay. And don't worry, I'm going to give you the link to the recipe so you will have no problem. All right. That is our crepe batter. Now what I'm going to do is just let it rest for about a few minutes, maybe 10 minutes or so, while I go over here and start working on our blueberries. So we're going to go over to our stove and make our blueberry syrup. So we have our fresh blueberries here. This recipe calls for fresh blueberries because I, love them. And they're in season right now. So when the berries are in season, take advantage of them and use them as much as you can. So we're just going to dump half of our contents of our bowl here. And as you can hear, I have the pot here, or the saucepan, on about medium heat. And into these blueberries, we are going to put about 3/4 cup of sugar. Now remember, we are making syrup, so a blueberry syrup. So you need some sugar to get these blueberries going. Okay, and you're going to see what I'm going to do with the syrup as we go along. So it's not going to end up being too sweet for you. It's going to go, like I said, perfectly with your coffee. Okay, so let me give this a stir. Okay. Also, I want to add a little bit of lemon juice. So I got my lemons from my tree here. If you get a couple of seeds, don't panic. I'm just going to go in here and get them out. No big deal. The lemon is going to give a nice tang to the blueberries, and it adds a really fresh flavor. So you're going to love this. And you'll see why I'm holding back on some of the blueberries in a minute. So I'm just going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes or so until the sugar dissolves, and you'll see what we have. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes or so, and our blueberries and our sugar have simmered. Okay, and I'm going to tell you to go ahead and start your blueberries off in a cold pan with your sugar, and then bring it up to a slow simmer that way. That way you won't have caramelized sugar on the bottom here. And you can go ahead and use a non-stick or you can use your regular stainless steel pots and pans, or your saucepan for this recipe. So we're going to take the rest of our blueberries and just add them, turn the heat off, just add them to the syrup, because see, the blueberries we cooked have burst and they've given off all their flavor. Now we're just going to add some whole blueberries so you have the nice bite of the fresh berry itself. Okay, and as a last touch, I'm going to add just a little bit of vanilla. Just a little bit. Stir that in and just let it sit back here so we can turn our attention to our crepes. We're going to stuff our crepes with some mascarpone cheese and some of the blueberry syrup we made. So I got about 8 ounces of mascarpone cheese, and mascarpone cheese is like a light Italian cream cheese. So if you can't find mascarpone cheese in your grocery store, go ahead and use a light whipped cream cheese. I left it out here so it can come to room temperature, just so I can deal with it. It's really a nice consistency. Okay. Now some recipes will tell you to go ahead and sweeten up your mascarpone cheese, but I'm going to use the syrup that we made to sweeten it up. Just makes it a little bit easier and you don't have as much sugar. Okay. So I'm just going to take a couple of tablespoons and put right in the mascarpone cheese. Some of that lovely blueberry syrup here. Put it right in here. It's going to turn this pretty color. Okay. Just fold them in. You don't have to rough it up too bad. Okay. And you're going to put this right in your crepes when you're done making them, and fold them right in, and then put some of the blueberry syrup on top. It's really good and really easy. Okay, so I'm just going to put this to the side, and then we're going to get going on our crepes. I have an 8-inch skillet non-stick going over here on medium heat, maybe medium, between medium and medium high. You need the skillet really hot so that your crepes can get a good browning. And I'm going to put about just a small bit of butter in the inside of the pan. Okay, roll the butter around so that your crepe doesn't stick. And that's the helpful part about using non-stick also. Okay, now we're going to take a 2-ounce ladle, or if you don't have a 2-ounce ladle, don't worry about it, don't panic. Just use a 1/4 cup measure and you'll have the same amount. Stir your batter. Okay, now I've made some wheat crepes also, whole wheat crepes. But I'm going to tell you, when you get to the whole wheat, you got to do the same thing. Stir the batter really good before each ladle, because you want to make sure that your batter is really mixed well. Okay, here we go. Put it in here and roll the crepe batter around. Okay. And then you're just going to let it stay here for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side. Okay. And have your spatula handy. And then we'll turn it over in a minute. All right, let's get going on the next one. Nice butter all over your pan, nice hot pan, and a 2-ounce ladle of our batter. Roll it around. Okay, and we're gonna go back on the heat with it. Spatula under. There you go. Before we make our blueberry and mascarpone cheese crepes, I'm going to show you the whole wheat crepes that I made earlier. Same concept with the batter. It's easy to make. And then also what I did with this one, because this is one of my favorites I just wrap the banana up with some Nutella in the whole wheat crepe and go out the door when I'm on my way to work. But all I did was spread a little bit of Nutella inside, slice some bananas, fold it over, some whipped cream, and a little mint for you. And there you have it. Really easy whole wheat crepes right there. Okay, now let's get to our crepes that we made today. Take some of the filling. All right, let me get a plate here. Let me switch you over. Put a crepe here. And then just see the nice whole blueberries inside. That's why I left some of the blueberries back, so I wouldn't have smashed blueberries all over the place. I want some whole ones in there so I can have a nice contrast and flavor and texture. Okay, now I'm going to roll these up. Okay, just like that, a couple of times. Nice. Do one more. This is a nice change up for a weekend morning, don't you think? And these store really well, so if you have some leftovers, don't worry about it. Put them in an airtight container. And then you can put them in the toaster oven really quick, just to warm them up. And then you got crepes right there. Not a problem. If you make some ahead of time, it's not a big deal. Now we're going to take some of the blueberry syrup that we made earlier. Okay, move this out of the way. And just kind of ladle that over. Just like that. And of course, you could do powdered sugar if you want, something like that, but I'm just going to put a little bit of, just a small dollop of non-dairy whipped cream. And that is going to go with my coffee, and an inspiration from the French, of course. That's it for today. Thanks for spending some time with me. Just to let you know, Grand Diamond All-Purpose Seasoning is available now in the Los Angeles area at Vicente Foods and Bob's Market. For these recipes and more, go to gdseasoning.com and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. I'll see you next time.